David the Bully. When I was young, there was a few kids that I ran into that were bullies. There was a guy named Teak, and he was being a bully when I was probably in the time frame of maybe six years old, something like that. And I went over to his house next door up in North Ogden and met his cousin, and he ended up punching me in the stomach. Well, I don't know what happened, but I went back and I the next day, and I punched him as hard as I could in the stomach, and he stopped bothering me. Anyway, there's lots of stories about bullies, growing up. But the other one that is actually a really good friend of mine. He was one of my best friends growing up, and he's also a good friend now. But he was a bully to me many times in elementary. When I was in third grade, I moved to North Ogden. When I was in third grade, I met this boy named David, and I don't want to embarrass him or anything, but he bullied me and teased me a lot, and he would tease me out at recess all the time, like all the time. He would bug me, tickle me, bug me, just always bugging me and always teasing me, and I didn't appreciate it at all. But I waited for him to come in from recess around the hall down in North Ogden Elementary. There was a little area. We walked down the stairs, and I was right there, and I jumped him, thinking I was going to beat him up. Well, he ended up, throwing me on the floor and cracking my head, big, huge egg on my head, and had to go home. I didn't feel good. Anyway, he would throw rocks at me all the time. He'd do all kinds of stuff. He's always bullying me. Yet we're really good friends. We did a lot together. So he was my best friend, but in a lot of ways he was my biggest bully. So I always wished that he would quit bothering me and quit harassing me. And one time during football season, ninth grade time frame, we got done with football season. The coach made us come in and wrestle after school. We had to wrestle. We were the wrestlers now, and I just kind of got rooked into it, and I did not want to wrestle, and I didn't want to wrestle David or anyone else, but I ended up wrestling David, getting beat in that after-school wrestling clinic from the high school, from Weber High. He beat me, and then a couple other kids, I won a couple, one or two, and then got beat by, a couple. I can't remember the whole story, but all of a sudden, at the end of the week, or the end of the 2-week period, I was now in the finals in front of the entire junior high, and I had to wrestle David, which he had always beaten me up, he had always picked on me, was a bully to me. Yet there again, with all due respect, I really love David, and he was a good friend of mine also, and we are still good friends to this day. But I felt like I was bullied a lot. So now I got to wrestle him in front of the entire junior high. So everyone comes. It's a big, huge, they set up the wrestling match. There's hundreds of people that come. The entire junior high comes. And the whole day, his friends are taunting me. One kid in particular, Kevin Barker, which was kind of a mouthy kid, kind of a cocky little mouthy kid. And a couple other kids kept saying, David's going to kick your butt. David's going to kick your butt. I was totally worried the entire day. But the night before, I found out that I was going to wrestle him in front of the entire school. I told my dad, he goes, well, let me teach you a couple moves. And he didn't know anything about wrestling. So in my living room at my house, he taught me a couple wrestling moves, like even in the hallway, right in the skinny hallway, I swear. I thought he did it in the actual living room, but I thought it was in the hallway or the living room. He taught me a few moves that I could possibly use in my wrestling wrestle-off tomorrow in front of the entire junior high. Well, needless to say, the whole day was very stressful for me. I worried and worried and worried. I knew I was going to get killed by this guy, but my dad had helped me a little bit with getting ready for this match. And time came, everyone was there, we got out, we got paired up, and now the whistle blew. And I wrestled him, and I took him down, and I pinned him in about 45 seconds. I pinned him really hard, fast, and quick. And I could hardly see when the match was done. I got off, I'm like, I won, I was excited about it. I just pinned the kid who bullied me all the way through elementary and junior high, and now I pinned him in front of the entire junior high, and I was so excited. After that, I never took any more crap from him. Every time he'd give me crap, I'd fight back, and I'd resist really heavily, and he started to back off teasing me. But there again, we loved each other, we respected each other, we played football with each other. He was a good friend of mine. We did a lot of things together. We got in mischief together, and I still see him to this day, and we're still good friends. But so even though I felt bullied by him, I also feel a friendship and a love from him. But what I learned from that was, if somebody tries to bully you, kick their ass. Whether you get your ass kicked or not, you kick their ass. Do not take things from bullies. Protect yourself and defend yourself, and fight. Fight to be left alone.